Hi there, this is Michael Speaks with Realty Austin. Just wanted to give you some real quick orientation as to the layout of the Westlake area. Um, if you see my cursor, this represents downtown Austin. You have Interstate 35, which goes north and south up to Dallas. Dallas is about 3 hours north of Austin. San Antonio, if you go south, you'll reach San Antonio in about an hour, hour and 15 minutes, depending on traffic. You also, a little further west, have Mopac Boulevard, or otherwise known as Loop 1. And Mopac is short for Missouri Pacific because the railroad line, as you can see right here, actually crosses over Lady Bird Lake downtown and ultimately snakes up and goes up actually right along Mopac Boulevard north out of the Austin area. You also have Highway 360, or otherwise known as Capital of Texas Highway, that ultimately loops around from North Mopac all the way down to South Mopac. And then, of course, going primarily east to west, you have, let me zoom in here. You have Bee Cave Road. If you see my cursor here, Bee Cave Road actually intersects Mopac and starts heading west through Westlake proper and ultimately crosses under Highway 360 or Capital Texas Highway, and then about 7 to 10 minutes further out Bee Cave Road here, you ultimately end up in Bee Cave, or an area that you may have known about in your research. It's called Hill Country Galleria. What I want to do is show you the general boundary of the Westlake area. Let me actually use my drawing tool here, and what I'll do is I'll go along this lake here, which is called Lake Austin. Now remember, the lake downtown is called Lady Bird Lake. There are 7 Highland Lakes in the Highland Lakes chain, all the Colorado River dammed up 7 times. The first lake downtown is called Lady Bird Lake, and this lake right here that I'm following is Lake Austin, which is the second lake in the chain. Ultimately, and again, these lines aren't extremely accurate, but I'm just trying to give you a general sense of where the Westlake area is in terms of the boundaries. So there you have it. So if you see the shaded area, the highlighted area, that really represents Westlake. Now, just to give you also an idea about what the distances are here, I'm going to use my circle tool. You can see my little crosshairs here. I'm starting downtown Austin. If I circle out here, generally this right here to the Hill Country Galleria, which is where my crosshairs are here on top of the Bee Cave, generally this is about 20 to 25 minutes from downtown Austin. Certainly could be more depending on the traffic. As far as topography, you'll find that most of your hills and your views associated with Austin that you probably have seen in many photos generally start west of Mopac Boulevard, even further west of Lake Austin. I'm going to go ahead and delete this object here and switch to my neighborhood mode to show you where the actual neighborhoods are in general in the Westlake area. So I'm going to zoom in here. If you're following south on Mopac, if you leave downtown, for instance, if you're staying in a hotel like the W or the Four Seasons downtown, and you head across the Lady Bird Lake and get off at Bee Cave, you may take immediate right, you'll be in the Rolling Wood area. Now on the south side of Bee Cave, you have what's called Tremont. If you go further down Bee Cave or further west on Bee Cave, again, this is really Westlake proper. This is where the Westlake that most people have known about for 20 to 30, 40 years, this is really the heart of Westlake right in here. You can see right here, if we zoom in, you can see right here we have Westlake Drive, which ultimately takes you from Bee Cave closer to Lake Austin, and you can see there's a little inlet from Lake Austin here. Westlake Drive actually follows Lake Austin all the way around until it dead ends into Capital Texas Highway or 360. There are many little neighborhoods along this Westlake Drive that you should probably know about depending on your price range. And again, Stacy and I, we specialize in the Central Austin, Westlake, all the way out to Bee Cave and Lakeway area. So we'll be able to customize your search parameters specific to your style. If you like Tuscan Mediterranean versus contemporary versus traditional, that's going to be important because many of these neighborhoods kind of have a sprinkling of all types of homes, while some are leaning more one direction than the other. There are a couple of areas that I just want to make mention of. And for instance, this is called, right here, called Davenport Village. This has several great restaurants. And matter of fact, one of our favorite coffee shops is called 360 Uno Trattoria. So again, that's Davenport Village. Now, right on the other side of it is called Davenport Ranch. Generally, homes are going to be priced anywhere from, we've seen them $650,000, $700,000, right in that price range, all the way up to $2 to $3 million. Beautiful views here, but again, you're pretty close to, if you're thinking about proximity to work or to a major thoroughfare, you're going to be pretty close to Capital Texas Highway, which takes you to South Austin as well as North Austin. And again, that's in the Eanes School District. If I zoom out a little bit, there's a couple of other areas that I want to bring mention to. If a client says that they want to be in the Eanes Independent School District, which is where Westlake is, and they want to stay under the 700,000 mark, then there are a few areas that, of course, we can look in. Number one, that's Davenport Ranch, which is right here. And then another area, especially if they want newer homes, is an area called Senna Hills, which is right here off of Bee Cave Road. This is about a 6 to 7 minute drive from Capital of Texas Highway, depending on the traffic. So again, that's Senna Hills. Another area, if our clients don't have a preference for the age of home, another area that I'd like to mention is this area called Lost Creek. And this is a really hot area right now that many of our clients are looking in. But home prices are going to be anywhere from $450 to $500,000, all the way up to $800,000 to $900,000. But again, most of the homes in here were built in the 70s and 80s. Some of them have not been updated. Some of them, of course, have had fabulous remodels or fabulous updating to them. But a couple of areas to mention that we can go more into, dive deeper into, depending on the style that you want, is the Rob Roy area. This is the Rob Roy right here. This is Rob Roy in general. And there's also Rob Roy on the lake, Rob Roy on the creek, on both sides of Bee Cave Road here. Again, we can get more specific in terms of what exactly you want, but there's a couple of other areas called Seven Oaks. This area right in here is called Seven Oaks. You kind of see a little bit more of your Tuscan, Mediterranean, kind of blending in a little bit of that Texas Hill Country contemporary style over in the Seven Oaks area. And home prices are going to average probably around $1 million up to 2.5 to 3 million right in that area. And again, all these areas are within 15 to 20, 25 minutes from downtown Austin. Of course, the closer you get in, the higher your prices are going to be. And the styles of homes are going to be a little bit more sporadic. If you're looking for totally contemporary, we certainly can find that, but we need to talk specifics about the prices that you should probably expect when looking for just a complete contemporary style within 10 to 15 minutes of downtown Austin. So that for now is kind of a brief overview of the Westlake area and a couple of spots that we just wanted to highlight for you. Again, if you want to have us customize a search specific to your individual interest and needs, just let me know. Give me a call. Email me back. My name's Michael Speaks. I'm with Realty Austin. My number's 512-699-0400. And if you don't mind, if you're going to email me, state specifically what you're interested in. If it's schools, elementary, middle schools, possibly even private schools, just let us know. And we will certainly customize and tailor a specific custom search criteria to your individual needs. Have a great day.